I'm going to talk about the best Medicare supplement plans for 2021. And certainly something important to understand if you're just coming into Medicare, maybe you're turning 65 or you're about to retire, your choices when you come into Medicare, they can be daunting. So I'm going to go over the Medicare supplement choices and show you what I would do if I were coming into Medicare and try and make it as simple as we can to understand what our coverage is. So I'm Keith Armbrech, founder of Medicare on Video, and I help people across the country in all 50 states make the right Medicare choices. And one of the best parts, there's no cost to you to allow me to help you. So hopefully you will allow me to help you. And we try to make things as simple and easy as possible, get the best value. So we want the best plan at the best price to make sure that we really don't think about health insurance at all in the future. So that's my goal here, and I'm going to go over the Medicare supplement choices that you have, so hopefully you'll understand exactly what you're looking at. Now, there's always questions after a video. If you have any questions, I'm happy to help with any of it. Give me a call, send me an email, and I will respond and make sure that we get the answers that you need. So I hope you find it pretty helpful, and we're going to talk about Medicare supplement plans. So what exactly is a Medicare supplement plan? It is a Medigap plan. So it's the same exact thing with two different terminologies. Medigap is Medicare supplement plans. And you can see here, Medicare.gov says Medigap is Medicare supplement insurance that helps fill the gaps in original Medicare. So when we come onto Medicare, Part A and Part B, and I certainly have videos that break down every piece of Medicare, but Part A and Part B is what's considered original Medicare, and there are deductibles and coinsurance and out-of-pocket expenses that we don't want to pay. So we generally will get a Medicare supplement plan that will cover most, if not all, of those out-of-pocket expenses. So these are the gaps in original Medicare. So Part B, which is your outpatient services, so not in the hospital, but outside the hospital, covers 80%. So you're responsible for 20%, and that's not so bad unless you have a catastrophic event. That 20% can get out of hand very quickly. So we don't want to pay that. Part A has a deductible. Part A deductible right now is $1,408, and that's for each time during the year that you go into the hospital for a different event. So you could face that $1,400 deductible multiple times in a single year. And again, we don't want to pay that. That's just not something that would make your hospital admission any easier. Part B deductible, things that go on outside the hospital, much smaller deductible, so not really all so bad. It's $198, and it is a one-time deductible for the entire year. So once you've met your $198 for stuff that goes on outside of the hospital, that's it for the year, and then you don't have to worry about that. Then you're paying the 20% that Medicare doesn't cover for outpatient services. Part B copayments. There can be copayments if you have a certain type of plan. I'm going to go through that also pretty specifically to show you exactly what that is, and that can be up to $20. Again, not a big out-of-pocket expense, so sometimes it makes sense to keep our premium low and have manageable out-of-pocket expenses. So I'll show you exactly what that means as well. And then this one's a little odd, Part B excess charges. So Part B has a piece of it that has excess charges. And I'm not sure why they even allow it, but it has to do with a doctor and how they're contracted with Medicare. If a doctor accepts Medicare assignment, then they take what Medicare pays them as complete payment. If they do not take assignment, so they kind of be considered out of network, but you can still use them, Medicare will pay their part, but then that doctor could also bill you 15% more than what Medicare pays. And it's generally not a large amount. It kind of sounds more than it is. But again, we just need to understand exactly what we're looking at. So here's all our choices on Medicare supplement plans. There's 10 choices. And actually, there's 11 choices. They hide one up here with this little asterisk, which is a plan GHD. And that just changed in 2020. It used to be FHD. Now it's GHD. Also makes it a little more confusing. So we have these choices here, and we really don't need this many choices. I do not know why they saturate it this way to make it confusing. But when we're looking at Medicare supplement choices, really, there's 3, and we'll even consider the asterisks as 4 choices. Now, gets a little bit easier than that. Plan F, if you're coming into Medicare after January 1, 2020, so if you turn 65 after January 1, 2020, Plan F is no longer a choice. And that's actually a good thing because Plan F was overpriced. It considered 100% coverage on everything, but was also a massively increased premium. So a lot of people got sold into Plan F. And if you're on Plan F right now and you're watching this, give me a call, send me an email. We can likely save you a lot of money and have coverage that's very similar to your Plan F. So let's just take Plan F off the board right now. We're going to look at Plan G and Plan N. And those are really your two main choices. Now, there are a couple of states where Medicare supplements are handled differently and prices are much higher than they are in the rest of the country. States like New York or Connecticut, sometimes in Florida, although Florida is getting better now, where that asterisk plan makes a lot of sense. So if you live in a high-cost state, and again, we can go through that specifically one-on-one with you and show you if it makes sense or not. But here we look at Plan G. Plan G, you look right down the list, it's got 100% on most of the services. So it covers most of those gaps that we just talked about in Part B. What it does not cover is the Part B deductible, which is the $198. Again, manageable. We can live with $198. If you're coming off group health right now, you probably have a $2,000 deductible or more. And so $198 deductible for the year for stuff that goes on outside the hospital, not so bad. Part B excess charges, they are covered under Plan G. So that's a good thing that we understand the difference between G and N. And I'll show you that in just a minute. And then you look down the list also. Another good thing about Medicare Original with a supplement, it gives you out-of-country coverage. Where if you look into a Medicare Advantage plan, and I don't generally recommend Medicare Advantage plans, but they limit you to where you are, and there's also no out-of-country coverage. So if you travel whatsoever, it can get very complicated in that scenario. So now we look at Plan M. Plan M, pretty similar to Plan G, with the exception, you see here, we have some asterisks, and wherever there's asterisks, there are complications. So it makes it a little more complicated. But what those asterisks say is that when you go to the doctor, if you have an office visit, you can have a copay of up to $20. So if you have Plan N, the difference between N and G is on N, you might have a copay of up to $20 when you go to the doctor. Now, why in the world would we want a $20 copay when we go to the doctor? The only reason is if the premium is that much less than G that it makes sense. And I'll show you where I would draw the line on that as well. And then Plan N also does not cover excess charges. So it makes it a little bit gray on Plan N because you have to understand the excess charges, but the vast majority of doctors take Medicare assignment, so there are no excess charges. There's a number of states that do not allow excess charges. So again, we kind of need to look at it one-on-one with you and figure out if it makes sense or if it doesn't make sense. And then everything else is pretty much full coverage. So it's really terrific coverage with Medicare and a Medicare supplement. So here we have our choices. When to choose Medicare Supplement Plan G. So when would I choose Plan G? I want a full coverage plan. So I pretty much want everything covered except I'm going to have a $198 deductible for the year. Not a big deal at all. I mean, that's absolutely terrific coverage. We want an affordable premium. So we want to get that premium. And Plan Gs across the country, and again, some states are different than others, and I'm not sure why they fluctuate so much in price, but it generally can run right around $100. So it can be $100 to $120 a month for Plan G. So again, not expensive on the premium side, and we have low out-of-pocket costs. So that's absolutely what we want, a manageable premium, low out-of-pocket costs. So that's terrific for Plan G. Now, sometimes Plan G in certain locations is too high priced. And if it is too high priced, then we want to look at Plan N. So Plan N, very similar to G, where we have full coverage, but we have some out-of-pocket costs. We have that copay, and we have to think about excess charges. But again, not such a big deal if the premium is low enough. So when would I choose Plan N? I would choose Plan N if the premium is $25 or more, less than Plan G. Pretty simple for me. If Plan N is $20 less than Plan G, I'm buying Plan G. If it's $10 less, I'm definitely buying Plan G. But if Plan N is $30 less than Plan G, I'm buying Plan N because that's going to save me $300 plus a year to have a $20 copay. So it makes sense if the premium justifies Plan N. So gives you a pretty good idea. Now, Plan GHD wiggles its way in here. Now, when we want Plan GHD, and the premium on this can be significantly less than $100. So it can be usually around $70 a month. So we want a low premium, and it puts a limit on our annual out-of-pocket. So it has a much higher deductible. That's what the HD stands for, is high deductible. It's around $2,300, $2,400, and these change year to year. So, but, why would we want a big deductible? The only reason we want a big deductible is if G and N are outrageously expensive and we want to manage our premium. So we get our premium way down and then we just have a deductible. So what it does, it gives us a stop on that 20%. So we can't have a catastrophic loss if we have a terrible year. So GHD absolutely makes sense in certain locations. And again, kind of a specific scenario that we need to talk about and make sure that we understand our choices. And then as long as you understand it, whichever one you pick is the right one. So as long as we understand and we know what we're into, then it makes a lot of sense. So again, I'm happy to help with all of this or any of it or any piece of Medicare. If you have any questions, give me a call, send me an email, and I will absolutely help. If you're a client, if you're not a client, I'm happy to help with any of it. So if there's anything that I can do, reach out and we'll be happy to get back to you. And I hope you found this helpful. Share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel. Have a fantastic day.